Hey you guys, welcome back. It's Carmel Mooney again here at my California kitchen. Today I really would love to share with you my creamy crab and artichoke manicotti. But first I want to give a little recognition to a few gals who've been just exceptional cheerleaders and friends to me. And I hope I don't offend anybody because I've got almost 100 really good new friends peppered all over the United States from this wonderful competition. And of course, the ultimate friend and cheerleader has of course been Miss Paula Dean herself. A special thank you to Roberta Bonney, Nara Fiskuski, Leslie Green, Jean Tupola, also Debbie Wood. Juggling work and kids and almost 30 videos, it's been a little grueling sometimes. And you guys have just been, root for me and encourage me and just give me the little pick-me-up that I needed a few times. And I hope I can come out there to Savannah this summer, to the wonderful land of sweet tea. Sweet tea is a little inside joke in our family because I travel a lot. I'm a travel writer, and so every time I make it to the South, I always take a picture of some sweet tea, and I always send my husband an email from wherever I am. Doesn't matter if I'm in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, New Orleans, anywhere, and I always say, I've made it to the South, hun, because I've got my sweet tea. And I love the way they say sweet tea. I mean, in California here, it's so boring. We just say tea. That's it. But there's a, I don't know, it's just a cute, magical little persona of the South, how they say sweet or unsweet. And when I hear that, I know I'm in the South. And I sure hope to hear sweet or unsweet this summer. And I hope you'll bear with me, but I have to take my own videos myself because we have 5 kids. One is over in Iraq in the Army, and another one is in vet school. And then we have 3 others, and the youngest one is severely handicapped. So, because of all that, my husband works about 12 hours a day. He leaves the house about 5 in the morning, and he gets home about 6 or 7 or 8 at night. And I'm kind of on my own with these videos. I don't have the luxury, unfortunately, of having someone come over and help me do the videos. I have got right here 8 ounces of Kraft Philadelphia cream cheese, and I've softened that in the microwave for about 15 seconds to make it nice and malleable. And then I've also got about 14 ounces or so of artichoke hearts that have been quartered. And also what's kind of neat is here in California we are really close to the artichoke capital or artichoke center of the world, Castroville. And I grew up just a few minutes from there. And it's just a fun little tidbit or trivia of history. Castroville, which is the town that all the artichokes are grown for most of the United States, Marilyn Monroe in the 40s was the artichoke queen there, and so one of the hotels is called the Norma Jean. Just a little tidbit of information. Kind of fun. Nobody knew she was an artichoke queen, huh? Okay, so now we have a pound of crab meat, and I'm going to add that. And we're going to take an egg and add that. And then we're going to take, here's a cup of Asiago cheese that's shredded. Now I'm going to put most of this in, but I'm going to save, just reserve a tiny little bit, maybe about a quarter of a cup in the bottom for sprinkling on the manicotti at the end. Then we're going to add that parsley that I chopped up a minute ago. And we're going to add the juice of a lemon. Lemon always makes, I think, the flavors of all seafood, especially crab, just kind of pop in your mouth and gives it a little extra flavor enhancement that's just so delicious. I mean, anything without lemon is fine, but when you add lemon, it just sends those flavors over the top. All right. And if you have a chance to get a Myers lemon tree, those are some of the best to cook with. Myers lemons are just wonderful. I think I need a sip of my sweet tea now. Hope I have some sweet tea in Savannah this summer. Just add 1 little tiny pinch of salt. And we're going to mix this up. And you can use a fork or a whisk, whatever you prefer. I'm going to use a fork this time. I have my whisk sitting here in case I decide to just switch engines. See how that cream cheese just mixed right in without any effort whatsoever. That's I think one of the neatest tricks about just softening it in the microwave for maybe 10, 15, or even 20 seconds is that, look, it just creams right up perfectly. I mean, no effort at all. And what we're going to do now is take these manicotti shells that I cooked for about 6 to 7 minutes, and I did these just a few minutes ago, right before I started the video, and we're going to stuff these with our wonderful crab cream cheese mixture. And I'm just going to put a couple tablespoons of the filling in each one and then lay them in a little baking dish here. And I took a little non-stick cooking spray and I sprayed the dish ahead of time just because I like to do that. You don't have to, but I think it's nice to kind of just put either a little butter or a little non-stick cooking spray in the pan just so that you don't disrupt those beautiful, kind of fragile little manicotti, because they do tear kind of easily. And it's not a big deal. I mean, occasionally one will tear a little bit even when you're cooking. Like, see, one of them tore right there. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, you can just set that torn side down and no one will ever know, because we are going to put this beautiful cream cheese sauce on top of the manicotti right before we bake it. And that sauce only takes about 5 minutes to prepare. It's only got a few ingredients, but you're gonna love it. And it's helpful because it's very forgiving. The crab speaks for itself. I mean, seafood, you know, California, I grew up around fishing in the ocean, deep sea food, you know, deep sea fishing, eating seafood several times a week as a kid. So I'm a seafood fanatic, and anything with crab is just heavenly. So the cream cheese makes it even better. And since artichokes are so delicious and so good for you, it's just a winning, no-brainer combination. And it's a little messy stuffing them, but it's kind of fun actually. Cooking is one of those times us girls get to get a little messy, and you know, the guys always get to go play in the mud and all that kind of stuff, but I think cooking and gardening are about the only times we get a little messy. It's kind of fun actually. I love to grow vegetables and herbs in my garden, and one year I planted sunflowers, because that's what made me think of it was the birds, because birds love sunflowers, and I usually plant extras so that I can feed the birds my big sunflower heads after they dry up. But anyway, it was the funniest thing. A few years back I planted all my typical usual sunflowers, and one sunflower it grew 17 feet high. 17 feet. I mean, it's hard to find a ladder high enough so I could measure it. But anyway, pretty soon, this Jack and the Beanstalk type of sunflower, it was so high, all the neighbors, of course, could see it from all directions. And everybody started telling everybody about it. Pretty soon I had the newspapers, magazines. I even had UC Davis, which is an agricultural college, come out and study it. Okay, now that I've washed my hands and had another sip of my sweet tea, I wanted to show you a close-up of these manicotti stuffed. You caught me, I had to have some sweet tea. Okay, so we're going to take about 5 tablespoons of butter and place them here in our skillet or saucepan, whatever you have. And we're going to let that melt for a moment. And then we are going to add, as soon as it melts here in a moment, about a half a cup of all-purpose flour, and we're going to whisk that together to make sort of like a little roux to get started. It's time to slowly add about 2 cups of half and half. Cream cheese just adds a little extra oomph and a little extra texture and flavor and richness to it that just sends it over the top, and it makes this manicotti literally the bomb. All right, now I'm going to put in another 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, about, I'd say maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg. Actually, let me get a spatula. I don't want to waste one little drop of this sauce. It's so good. All right, so I'll be back in about 15 minutes. And I'm going to put a little bit of parsley here on the edge for a little garnish. Doesn't that look pretty? It is hard not to inhale these things. They are so delicious. I hope you gals try my really easy crab artichoke manicotti. Oh my gosh, it is so good, so rich, and so creamy thanks to Kraft. Thank you again, Paula, and you know, all of you ladies who have become my real sisters. Not just real women, but sisters of Philadelphia. All my life I wished I had a sister, and now I've got about 100 of the best ones I could ever ask for. I just wish you all the best. Thank you for everything, and I really hope to be sipping sweet tea out in Savannah with you this summer. So next week I have some dessert videos up my sleeve, but until then, just remember, do everything in good taste.